Hello everyone, myself Mohan and welcome to my channel's Engineers Theatre. I am studying a Bachelor of Technology in Civil Engineering Department from Alia University, Kolkata, and I am a student of second year Civil Engineering Department. My some data are given there. So today I will start the topic of timber. On timber, which is including our building materials. So as you know, see this my presentation. Let's start. Introduction of timber. What is timber? Timber is a type of wood which has been processed into beams and planks. It is also known as lumber. In US and Canada, basically timber or lumber is a wood or firewood or growing trees, any wood capable of wielding a minimum dimensional size can be termed as a timber of lumber. It is a stage in the process of wood production. Timbers are used for the structural purpose, and those wood which are adopted for building purpose are timbers. Finished timber is supplied in standard size of the industry. Timber is used for building house and making furniture. You can see there are picture of timber. Uh, Next, classification of tree. Classification of tree. Indigenous tree. These trees grow outward and have distinct consecutive annual roots, and their horizontal section they can be further divided into two types: softwood and hardwood. Lumber, most used for engineering purpose, comes for indigenous tree. What is indigenous tree? Indigenous tree, this tree growing inward and fibers mass can be seen in the longitudinal section. Example: bamboo, cane, palm, etc. Next, structure of timber. Pith. This is first of all pith. Uh, this is the innermost part or core having soft tissues. It is found near the center of a log or a lumber. Its size varies from 1.5 mm to 10 mm in diameter. Next, heatwood. In inner part of the tree surrounding the pits is called heatwood. Its impact rigidity to tree and provided strong and durable timber for various engineering purpose. So as you know, next, sharpwood. T is the area between the heatwood and Cambian layers. Sharpwood contains living cell and takes active pan and growth of tea. Usually, it is light in color and weight. Next, Cambian layer. They are given. Next, inner bark. It is the inner skin of layer covering the cambium layer. It gives protection to the cambium layer. Outer bark. It is the outermost protective layer of the tree. It consists to cell, wood, fiber, and it is known as context. Uh, Medullary ray. These are thin radial fibers extending from pith to cambium layer. It holds together the annual roots of heat, wood, and sapwood. One ring is added every year, which decide the age of the tree. Uh, there are below picture. This is outer bark. This is outer bark. This is heat bark. This is the pith. This is inner bark. This is modular ray. This is cambium layer. This is sharpwood. Next, properties of timber. What is properties? Density. First of all, density. Higher the density of timber, greater will be strength. Higher the density timber, greater the strength. Next, this is because the high density of timber is a result of thicker cell wall. The greater amount of wood substance per unit volume. Moisture content. Higher the moisture content, lower is the strength of the timber. Next, this is because water in itself has no load bearing capacity. Its increased volume in the cell simply decrease the volume of wood tissues. Um, the higher the Moreover, the higher column of water in the cell invite many fungal and insect growing, which density the wood tissues, they tend to reduce the strength indirectly. Next, what is compressive strength of timber? Timber from most of the trees is amazingly strong under compressive load, 500 kg per centimeter square to 700 kg per centimeter square. It is, however, to be noted that other thing being same, the compressive strength parallel to gain is always less than that, determining at right angles to the grain in the same type of woods. Next, tensile strength. Wood is very strong to tensile force, acting parallel to grain but very weak when these forces are made to act perpendicular to the gain. Thus, the tensile strength of some woods range from 50 to 2000 kg per centimeter square parallel to gain, whereas same value lie between 10 to 100 kg per centimeter square for the same varieties when tested particular to the gain. Next, transfers or bending strength. The most important use for timber as beams is based on the fact the wood has very high bending strength. It may vary from 300 to 90 kilometer per kilometer per centimeter square or more. This is the strength capacity of wood. Next, hardness. Characteristic of good timber. Hardness. A good quality timber should be hard enough to resist deterioration. Next, strength. It should have sufficient strength to resist heavy structural loads. Next, toughness. It should have enough toughness to resist look due to vibration. It should not break in bearing, bending, and should resist splitting. Timbers having narrow annual rings are generally the strongest. Next, elasticity. This is the most important of elasticity. It should have the property of elasticity so as to regain its original shape after removal of loads. This is very important property to consider if the timber is used in making sports goods. Next, durability. What is durability? It should be able to resist attract to fungi and and also atmospheric effect for a longer period of time. Next, defects. Defects of timber. Timber should be prepared from the heart of shoot tree and be free from sharp, dead, snakes, snack, and other similar defects. Fibers and structure. It should have straight and close fiber and compact. Middle ray. It should give a clear ringing. Should when shark dual heavy shoot and is an indication of internal decay. Is its annual ring should be uniform in shape and color. Next, appearance and colors. Freshly cut surface should give sweet smell and present singing surface. It should have dark color as light color. Timber are generally weak in strength. sharp and wet. It should retain its sharp during the process of uh, seasoning. Heavy timbers are always strong, then a lightweight timber. Next, workability. It should be seasoned and easily workable. Teeth of straw should not get clogged during the process of showing. It should provide its smoothness surface easily. Advantage of timber. Timber can be easily sharp and modified. Remaining waste can be recycled. Timber generate very few pollutants compared to other building products. Uh, Timber can be easily connected using nails, screw doors, bolts, and connectors. Also under control condition to temperature and humidity. Adhesive may be used to connect the timber elements. Timber is light in weight and easy to handle in manufacture, transport, and construction. Disadvantage of timber: it is likely to crack or bend and decay if not properly seasoned and not treated with preservatives. There are many uh, application of which timber is unsuitable due to durability issues. It's require careful regular maintenance. Defects of timber. The following are the five main types of defects in timber: defects due to natural force, defects due to attack by insect, defects due to fungi, defects due to defect seasoning, defects due to defected conversion. These timber defects are briefly discussed below. So let's start. These are defects. First one, defects in timber due to natural force. Notes. Notes are the most common defects causes due to natural force during the growth of tree. There are given. Next, types of knocks. The knocks are two types: dead knocks, live knocks. They are briefly discussed. This point. Next, live knocks are usually not a problem as they remain firmly attached to the timber, but in dead knocks they are loosely attached and reduce strength. Knocks decrease the strength of the wood and thus lower its value for structural use. Knocks causes serious defect when the load of perpendicular to the grain. Image of the date notes and live notes. This is the picture of uh, date note and live note. Next, uh, as you know, B twist. Twist is timber rotates the ends of the timber in opposite direction. The main reason behind the defect is twisting of the tree by the strong wind. This is the picture. Ace stacks, there are this is the pointer they are given. You can see this. Next, types of stacks. Stacks can be classified into their main categories: stuck stacks, carp and hanging stacks. Here hard stacks. Um, there are some point they are given below. This is a brief discussion. This point, as you know this, you can see this. Okay. Next, D-rings gels. The meaning of ring of the bark and gel is abnormal abnormal growth of the bark of the teeth is called ring gels. Next, E offsets. Uh, U offsets in various wood indicates uh, indicates that the tree was subjected to crushing or compression. Improper filling of trees, heavy wind blowing during the young age of the tree. These are the main reasons behind the types of defects. Next, defects of timber due to attack by insect. Insects like beetles, termites, or marine birds eat wood, make hold the weaken the strength of wood. Beetles are small insect that makes hole in almost all the sharp wood. The larvae make tunnels through the sharp wood in all direction and turns wood into powder. What is termites? There are some point given there, as you see this. Next, defects in timber due to attack by fungi. Um, Number one, strain. Number two, decay. And next, defects in timber due to defective seasoning. There are some point are given there. Defects of timber due to attack by fungi. You can see this. Next, defect in timber due to defective seasoning. Uh, there are some point of defective seasoning given there. Next, number one, broke up, check. There are some point given there. You can see this. Next, number four, split. Split is a special type of check that extend from one end to another. Honeycombing. Stress is developed in the hardwood during the drying process or seasoning. For this stress crack the create in the form of honeycombine structure. Next, defect of timber due to defective conversion. Number one, bauxite heat, meshing, burnt, meshing notch, miscut, impacts gain. There are some points given there. This is a briefly discussion. As you know this, as you see, as you can see this. You can see these causes of decay, type of key agents, environment factors, biological, chemical, physical, and radiation. There are some point given there, as you know this. Next, table number two, fungi which infects building materials, moisture condition, temperature requirement, dry, hot, wet rods. Dry rods के minimum moisture content in timbers of about 20%. Optimum growth occurs at 30 to 40%. Next, wet roots. There are some point given there. You can see this. Now, preservation of timber. Timber has to preserve from moisture, dry rot, or internal decay, and from the attack of insect. Paint on seasoned timber preserve it from moisture and extend its life indefinitely. It's denied. Periodically, many processes have been adopted for protecting the timber from dry, hot, and insect by impregnating it with a chemical substance, crying, painting, and etc. Types of preservatives of preservation of timber: ASCO treatment, chemical salt, coal tar, cresol oil, soil gram paints. These are the some point of types of preservation of timber. Next, what is ASCO treatment? These are the these are the ASCO treatment. These are briefly discussion. There are some point. Next, chemical salt, coal tear. These are the some point. This is the briefly discussion. There are some point. This is the picture. Next, creosote oil, soligum paints. This is the oil pictures. There are some point are given there, as you know this. Next, methods of preservation of timber. Preservers are used for different methods depending upon the extent of preservation required. Starting from the simplest of complex, these are brush application, dipping, open tank, immersion, and pressure application, sharpening, brush application, dipping application. What is brush application? In this method, timber is given one or two coats of the preservates with the help of brush. This is used for painting the ends of beams or base of poles and posts uh, that go to the ground with coal tar. The method is quick, cheap. At the same time, it is not very effective. Next, uh, dipping, dipping application. The timber part to be treated is um, made to dip in the preservates and kept immersed in it for various from few hours to few days. Next, it is used when organized preservative solvent are the adopted. Next, there are some point given there. This is a brief. My presentation. My presentation is briefly discussion. Uh, Next, open tank application. Number 4, the pressure process, charring. There are some applications and process. Next, seasoning of timber. Seasoning is the most important topic of timbers. Seasoning uh, is the process of drying timber to remove the burnt moisture. Next, contain its wall in the wood cell to products. Seasoning timber. Seasoning can be achieved in a number of way, but the aim is to remove water at the uniform rate through the piece to prevent damage to the wood during drying. Seasoning degrade. Methods of seasoning timber. There are two methods of seasoning of timber which are explained below. Number 1, natural seasoning. Number 2, artificial seasoning. As you know, what is natural seasoning and artificial seasoning? Let's start. I was briefly discussion there. What is natural seasoning of timber? This natural seasoning of wood may be in the form of air seasoning, water seasoning, solar seasoning. What is air seasoning? Air seasoning is the oldest, traditional, and simplest method of seasoning timber. In seasoning, timber is stacked in the air, and the rest of the wood is allowed to carry out the atmosphere heat and the natural air movement. This component remove is subsequent amount of moisture content from timber. Air seasoning is based on the principle that the piece of timber is stuck in a way of allow plenty of air. There are briefly discussed some point. Next, what is water seasoning? Water seasoning. Water seasoning is the process of placing log in a river with uh, thicker end pointing upstream side of the river. For seasoning purpose, logs are tied in stack, and such stack are ensured to the standing tree or hard support to ensure it is not carried away by the river. The shaft of timber is washes over a span of 2 to 4 weeks by the river water. There are some given there. This is the water seasoning. Solar seasoning. What is solar seasoning? Solar seasoning method is a solution of provided the low energy requirement of air drying and the speedy operation in clink drying. Solar seasoning of timber provides a compost of various drawbacks of other types of seasoning operation. There are below. This is the solar seasoning. Next, what is artificial seasoning? As you know, what is artificial seasoning? The various methods of artificial seasoning are boiling, clean seasoning, chemical seasoning of timber, electrical seasoning of timber. What is boiling? Seasoning of timber through boiling provides sufficient characteristic properties for the specific functioning of timber. Timber is immersed in water. In this method, then boil from about 3 to 4 hours under supervision. Boiling removes the required amount of sharp present in the water. This is the boiling process. Next, clean seasoning of timber. What is clean seasoning of timber? Clean drying is one of the common process among the many commercial process of the seasoning of timber. In this process, driving out of moisture is acceleration by using external energy, which is termed accelerates the seasoning of timber. Heat timber is stuck in the same as the air drying process. This is the clean seasoning of timber. What is chemical seasoning? As you know, this is the artificial seasoning. The timber used for high value application is seasoned through this process. Chemical seasoning. This process is suitable for the timber, completely free from surface check. Having application is refill, boots, golf, club, heats, and cavities. Chemical seasoning is also known as salt seasoning, as the timber is dipped in a solution of sodium chloride and sodium nitrate. Salts such as sodium chloride and sodium nitrate are capable to drawing out the inner moisture of timber. Uniform seasoning is ensured across the cross section of timber using this chemical seasoning as a primary treatment. Chemical seasoning involves hygroscopic chemical for soaking the moisture content of green timber in order to slow down the rate at which moisture it lost. Next, electrical seasoning of timber. What is electrical seasoning of timber? Electrical seasoning involves the process of high frequency alternating current current passes through the timber. Electrical current introduced in the timber is capable to generating heat, which is start drying timber. Drying of timber through this method in done under the supervision of expert of ensure safety. As the seasoning of timber has process moisture content reduced to the considerable level, and resistance electricity increase registration offer the electricity calculate to know the season timber level through the method of costly. It is adopted by many plywood. This is the electrical seasoning of timber. There are briefly discussed. Next, product of wood product. Next, number one, plywood. Plywood is the material manufactured from thin layers for piles or wood veneer that uh, are glued together with adjacent layer having their wood gain rotate. Next, plywood offer the following benefit: increased stability. Plywood offer all the inherent advantage of parent wood plus inherent properties in its laminated structure, high impact resistance, surface dimensional stability, high strength of weight ratio, panel shear, chemical resistance. As you see this, next number two, fiber boards. Fiber boards, American English for fiber board, British English. It is type of engineered wood product that is made out of wood fiber. It is sometimes used as a synonym for particle board, but particle board usually refer to low density fiber board. The product is dense, flat, strip, ha- has nodes, and is easily machined. It consists for fine particles and provides dimensional stability without a predominant grain, as is the case with wood. Unlike most plywood, contain no voids and will uh, deliver sharp edge with no teeth out. Next, particle board. Particle board is a relatively new engineered wood product made from wood waste such as wood chip, sawdust, and wood shaving. Here are give brief information for particle board properties: weight and density, strength, resistance of moisture, resistance of warping, durability, insulation. This is a picture of particle board. Next, veneers. A wood veneer is typically made up of a thin layer of mm, natural hardwood that is then bonded to a stable composite base material. The purpose of a veneer is that it's more affordable than solid timber, as less actual wood is used, but also the base materials give the whole thing overall stability. Its woodworking veneer refers to thin slits of wood and sometimes bark, usually thin than 3 mm, the 1 by 8 inch. This is the veneers. Is briefly discussed. I am briefly discussed. Next, what is block board? Uh, blo- uh, block block board can be worked with standard tools. It is easily shorn and has good screw holding and nail holding properties. It can be resistant to warping of if both sides have similar treatments. It can also be boiling waterproof and eco-friendly. This is blockboard. You can see this. This is blackboard. So I have completed this chapter over timber. I think everyone able to understand. I try my best. So more update, like, comment, subscribe, and contact me to my channel. Thank you. That's all.